First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for doing well and teaching us this truth. And peace and salutations to all you Akim and Ahawas and Bawas doing this work sincerely and faithfully. I'm the brother, I'm Juan. Coming back with another show. And pretty much the show is going to be just dealing with the great deliverance, the great salvation that's coming for the elect of the nation of Israel, of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, whom the Lord is going to redeem from that judgment, from that sword that's about to come upon the whole world, which is going to issue forth that fire, which is going to be the second death, where the Lord is going to judge primarily here in Babylon, aka known as America, and different parts of the world. And at that same given time, the Lord is going to be in the atmosphere with the angels to deliver the elect. And the way that the elect is going to be delivered is by what the world will call a UFO, which we know it as the chariot of Israel, the chariot of the Most High, which it speaks throughout the scriptures and many accounts of the chariots of the angels. And there's been accounts of men being delivered into them chariots. So there's nothing new under the sun. There's an account with Enoch being translated. There's an account with Elijah being departed in the midst of Elisha, and ultimately, the last but not least, our Lord Yahushua, when the disciples saw him 2,000 years ago, seeing him being ascended into heaven, into them ships, man, into the chariot, and descending. And that's the same like manner that was said in Acts, I believe 1:9, that he's going to return in that same way. But I wanted to get this in Jeremiah 16:14, and I'm just go through the Spirit. However, the Spirit allowed me to bring out these precepts to show you this marvelous and great salvation that's about to take place pretty soon. In Jeremiah 16:14, it says, "Therefore, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children from the land of the north, and from all the lands wherein he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land, and I will give that I gave unto their fathers." So it's going to be no longer said that the Lord that brought up the children out of the land of Israel. I mean, not the land of Israel, Egypt. Because that was our first captivity, man. And we served under Egypt roughly around 430 years. And the Lord after delivered us. The Lord smote the Egyptians with the 10 plagues. And after that last plague, after the 10th plague, Pharaoh decided to let us go. And ultimately, that was the Lord showing his power, man, because he said that he hardened Pharaoh's heart. That's part of showing his power and to magnify his name. And the Lord delivered us under the hand of Moses, and we went over the Red Sea. But before we went over the Red Sea, we was being pursued by the Egyptian Pharaoh and his army, riding them chariots to come after us. And the Lord made a spectacular deliverance by causing a mighty wind to come from the east to pretty much divide the waters, so we can walk on dry land and pass through. And while the Egyptians pursued after us, after we crossed the Red Sea, the Lord drowned Pharaoh and his army. But to show you that Lord always makes way, all we got to be still and be patient and trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But in this case, it's saying that it's going to no longer say that he delivered us out of the land of Egypt. This is going to be the Exodus part 2, But this deliverance is going to be different from the first one. This deliverance it seems far-fetched compared to to how the world portrays things to be, because everything has been watered down. Everything is nothing but carnality. Only thing you can believe is what you see. How Esau has based his world around, and how people don't have the faith to believe that the Lord can do the same examples and scenarios of things that took place through spiritual power and through His hand, and through His hand and the things that He has done aforetime unto the prophets, unto the people, that will happen again. So the scripture saying that the Lord said no longer that it's going to be said that He delivered the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord that liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whether He had driven them. Meaning what? That the elect are scattered through the four corners of the earth, and the Lord says He's going to deliver them out of bondage, wherever we're at, because we're still in captivity till this day. And He says He's going to bring us back to the land of Israel, whom He had given to our forefathers. And that goes to show you that them Khazarians that's over there right now claim to be the Jews, or to be Jewish or Israelis, that they're not the people of the Lord, because them people walk into the land. But the Lord said He's the one that's going to bring us over there, and it's not by by any cruise ship or by the airplane, by Delta's airline or something like that, but rather through what? Or by them chariots, by what the world call UFOs, and that right there is going to surpass it. It's going to surpass the time that we were in Egypt. This is the time that everyone's going to be marveled. They're going to be perplexed. They're going to find in that moment things to be strange and unbelievable. They're not going to believe what they're seeing. They're going to be rubbing their eyes, they're going to be closing, probably pinching themselves to make sure that they're not sleeping or that they ain't daydreaming. But this is really going to happen. The Lord is about to show His power, and everyone's going to know that the Lord exists. Just like in that time when the Lord overthrew the Egyptian, when the spies went over there to Jericho and went to go spy and the land to see, and when to go see the promised land, people already knew about the overthrow of the Egyptian by the Lord. That fame went throughout the whole land, So how much more in this go around? Everyone's gonna know that the Lord exists. So much so when you read Philippians 2:10? It says at that name of Yahweh Shai, every knee shall bow, and of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth, and that every tongue shall confess that Yahweh Shai is Lord, and to the glory of Yahweh the Father. You see? So everyone's gonna confess. Everyone's gonna know in that day. It's not gonna be made any mistake that there isn't a true power, But in that day, it's gonna be known to everyone that the Lord exists and that the Lord is the God of the nation of Israel, and Israel is His people. It's gonna be without a doubt, because you can't avoid what's about to come upon the earth. Greatness awaits, man. And what's about to happen upon the earth, people are going to be terrified. They're going to be scared, especially not knowing that the chariots, if you're an Israelite, that this is your salvation. This is what we were seeking for and hastening for the coming day of the Lord, so we can get the hell out of captivity. But for most part, everyone that's not in the know or is not looking for Yahweh Shem Yahshai to come, which the Lord is going to catch them like a thief in the night, this is going to be a surprise unto them. This is going to be their nightmare, their destruction. It's going to be their death, because people are going to be running away. People are going to try to hide. People are Scripture said that men's heart failed them for seeing the things that's coming upon earth. So they're going to be confounded. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. And it says, "Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such that have afflicted him and made no account of his labors." It says, verse 2, When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. You see, so people gonna be they're gonna be troubled with terrible fear, and they're gonna be amazed at the strangeness of the elect salvation, the 144,000, part of that 1/3 body of the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? And we hope to be part of that number. And these people is going to find it strange. They're going to see nothing but Israelites getting beamed up. And you're going to have Israel that's going to be looking like the other nation that's going to get taken into them chariots. But the point is the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond all they look for. You know, because back then we was delivered and we walked through the Red Sea and we walked into the promised land. But this time we're going to get carried by them chariots. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be delivered in fashion and style, man. You know, and no one's ever is ever thinking that this is the way that it's going to be, you know. But it is. We believe that. We have faith. And it says, verse 3, and they repenting and groaning for the anguish of the spirit, and shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, a proverb of reapproach. They're gonna be all messed up in the head. They're gonna be like, damn, are these the people of the Lord? These people who we consider to be nothing, to be thieves, to be robbers, to be liars, to be lazy, to be as nothing. These are the people who are the children and the chosen of the Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Yeah, they really gonna lose it, because now they're gonna understand how they treated us, how they mocked us, how they made us a reapproach and called us niggas, and made fun of us, and pretty much abused us and oppressed us until this day. Then all that's gonna smack them in their face, man. Reality is gonna sit in, because they know that it's gonna be vengeance. It's gonna be a time for them to pay for everything that they have done. You know. They're gonna receive a recompense, so they're gonna be very troubled. Never mind, Esau's in trouble because he already knows that day is coming, to where he's gonna get punished. He's gonna go into slavery and then be annihilated as a nation. That's why he's trying to flee into these outer space, you know, into these space station, trying to go underground and these bunkers, you know, go into the caves and the depths of the sea, because he's trying to flee judgment. But we know how that's going to go. And the only reason why that's going to happen is because what? The Lord is reserving them for them to serve out, continuing employment, and during our rulership when Yahushua gets back. So it's going to be no longer said that the Lord delivers out of the land of Egypt, but that the Lord delivers out of the land of the north. You know, the north being North America. You know, over here in the west. You know, so because the majority of the nation of Israel is over here in captivity, Judah and Ephraim was oppressed together, and we was bought in a land that our forefathers knew not. You know, a land where no man ever inhabited. This was said in the book of Deuteronomy 28:68. But the Lord's going to do good. You know, he's not going to suffer us to suffer here in spiritual Egypt and Sodom. You know. In Babylon, but rather he's going to deliver us, and they won't know. Verse 4, it says, we fools are come to his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he number amongst the children of the Lord, and his lot is among the saints? You see, they're gonna want to inquire, like, how easy number amongst the elect, you know. Why is he getting delivered and saved, or getting taken into them chariots? But they're going to realize all this time that we were the children of Israel. They're going to remember that the men that was on the corners, on the highways and byways, week in and week out, was prophesying these things. You know, everything's going to come back in full circle. They're going to know without a doubt that we were the prophets of the Lord if we continue and endure unto the end, until that day comes. You know, and furthermore, You can go in the book of Acts. Acts 1:9, it says this. I start at 6, and the point is at 9 and 10. It says, when they therefore were come together, they asked him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom of Israel? And he said unto them, It is not for you to know the times or the season which the Father had put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witness unto me both in Jerusalem and all Judea and Samaria and unto the uttermost part of the earth. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfast towards heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. The two men that stood by them in white apparel were the angel. And as Yahushua was getting taken up into the chariot, into the fathership, the disciples looked. And it goes on to say, verse 11, it says, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? The same Yahushua which is taken up from you into heaven shall come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. You see? So when the Lord does return, it's saying that the Lord is the way the disciples seen the Lord get taken away from them and go up in heaven, ascend. He says he shall come in like manner as ye see him go into heaven. So he's going to come in that same fashion, in that same way, in the clouds, the clouds or the whirlwind, the mountain, the flying roll. You know, all these names that's written in scriptures. You know, the titles for the chariots are the way and the fashion that the Lord is going to come back. He's going to come in what the world will call a UFO, and he's going to deliver his elect, and the rest of the world is going to get punished. You know, so much so, right? When you read Revelation 18:4, it says this. Revelation 18:4 says this, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. You see, that's the voice that's going to be spoken in Hebrew, you know, and that's going to tell us to come out of her, to get beamed up into them chariots, because that's the only way we're going to be delivered from this destruction, from this thermonuclear fire, man, that these nations are going to shoot their missile upon America. You know, you can't be hiding under the tub or hiding in the tub or underground or anywhere in the basement or anything like that, because you won't get consumed. You know, when you're reading Peter, it talks about that fervent heat that's going to melt the elements, that's going to burn the buildings, the cars, the people as they stand up on their feet. You know what I'm saying? But the only way to get delivered is by them chariots. You know what I'm saying? To come up and hit, and get beamed up. So we won't be partakers of her sins, and that we receive not of her plagues. And the plagues, pursuant to Zechariah 14:12, are the missiles. And this last precept, this last one, I'm ending because my phone's about to die. Will be Isaiah, I believe it's 26:20. Let me just double check. Yep, here it goes again. Come, my people. You see, this is what the Lord's going to be saying in Hebrew. Come in Hebrew. Come, my people, enter thou in thy chamber, into thy chambers, and shut the door about thee, and hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. In the chamber, right? And shut the door. It's got to be like a room, you know, for it to be considered a chamber, or to say to shut thy doors. This is an entry to something, right? This is an entry to a room, right? And it says that chamber is referring to inside the ships, And it says, right, for it says, shut the door about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be past, until the Lord's righteous anger be past. And how is it going to be past? It's going to be overpassed by unleashing uh, all all these missiles and these calamities, and to punish the people on that's on earth, and those that live in the pleasure of sin for a season, those that us partaker with the wicked. Their judgment is going to be is to be burnt up in that lake of fire. It says 21, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity, and the earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. You see, so the Lord is going to come out of his place. He's going to send Yahushua and the angels, and they're going to wreak havoc. For what? Why is the world going to punish the inhabitants of the earth? And the Lord said, because of their iniquities, because of their sins, their transgressions, and for just continuing to be evil. That's the law of the wicked, to be destroyed. And for the elect, the law is for them to get beamed up, to be saved, to be delivered, and to be the ones partakers that's going to be ruling with Yahushua when he established kingdom on earth. And those are going to be the first fruit that the Lord's going to deliver. That's going to be a void of judgment. Just like in the time of Noah, when Noah was saved by was saved by building the ark, and his sons and their wives and the certain animals were saved, each by their kind, and everyone else perished by the water. But this time it's by fire, and it's the same concept that the Lord's going to have a remnant, which is the elect, that 1/3 of the body of the nation of Israel. Out of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the people, 2/3 are going to perish. But this is going to be done. It's going to be done spectacular. It's going to be done in a way when the whole world never expect this to ever happen. But we have the truth, and happy are we, because we understand exactly the mind of the Lord, because he revealed these things unto us. We understand the deliverance and what to look forward to. Like scriptures say, I'm going to quote it, but I'm going to leave it at that. He says, lift up thy head and look up, because what? Your redemption draw nigh. And our redemption is by the chariots. But that's all I had. I hope it was edifying. And I'll see you on the next one. I say shalom.